What if free will and the idea of a self are just illusions created by habits of the mind? What if I can show you why none of this is even scientifically possible? I get it, bro. Life's meaningless and I'm nothing. Come watch my channel. Oh wait, the narrator's not done yet. Hold on. In the heart of the city, one theist attempts to make a cogent argument. Can all of my existence be reduced to scientific mumbo-jumbo? How can I know the answer? So here we are in modernity, and today I'm trying to help theists make one legit argument against the evil atheists. Again, no. The mistake believers make is sidestepping history, ignoring the very philosophy that atheists wield like magicians, convincing average people that science knows all. They know that 300 years ago, David Hume said we're all mindless, robotic atoms with no purpose, and yet they claim today we're good. So theists, if you want to win arguments, which is really what going door to door in sub-Saharan Africa really means, think about the greatest numbskull ideas. Not Jesus land in Florida. That's not what I mean. I know it's a stretch. It's called thinking. And it was popularized by Bertrand Russell in the early part of the 20th century. No, that's not what I'm saying. But the secret is to play the atheist game. It's called epistemology, the study of knowing shit. I know religious people think they know everything. I get it. But it's important to note, philosophers have a kind of confusing line where knowledge ends and shit begins. You need to learn about their confusion regarding the unknown. This is your slogan. When atheists reach their unexamined, somewhat contradictory limits, you say, bro, not everything is science. When physicists can't keep track of their own particles, you know there's an issue. But don't bad talk science. That's how your flying people tubes make it safely to the Orlando airport for your baby Jesus conference. Okay, no, I didn't mean that. There's an even more overconfident science, even less reliable than particle physics. It's called weather. As a religious thinker, you should have Thomas Reed's humility and you should be smart. None of us know shit. Chevy programmed a don't read the screen while driving message that only pops up while I'm driving. Look at it. Start the process of believing by creating space where it already is, in this huge noumenal, and it begins by making science look stupid, which is easy. Scientific materialism is literally the argument that human monkeys, without free will, chose to believe they didn't actually have a self. They don't actually see external reality, the one they're arguing about. And yet there's no causal chain, even to the string of words that just came out of their mouth. And there's no proof that other people or other minds exist, the ones they're talking to. It's a lot, man. And finally, the arbitrary indifference of natural law has produced consciousness. A thing they claim is merely atoms. Yeah, those things physicists don't even understand anyway. So basically, they choose to use their mind to tell you what to do while explaining that free will, consciousness, and moral objectivity are illusions. Swallow that pill. No, I'm not really trying to bad talk science and all of its wonderful inventions. After all, science has cured disease and making us smart and for flying us places and for making our cars safer with little airbags. So all in all, science is fine as long as it stays in its little niche. I'm really not trolling you here. I promise this isn't World of Warcraft. I'm really trying to level the playing field. Because right now, all you people have is the Magic Man and a bunch of t-shirts. So let's just sum up what I've said. Science can't even do science. Meteorology, which has nothing to do with meteors, I'm gonna get in so much trouble for saying that, can't even predict what the weather's doing now while it's doing it. So you have an advantage. Put down the magic wand, Joel, and join me as we explore the unknown. So the unknown is the thing that scientists get wrong. When the atheists are claiming that our consciousness is merely atoms, just point out in their own history of science and philosophy that separation between what we call physical life and mental life. Physical life is pretty simple. We get it. That's what science does. But what is mental life? Look at Kant's idea of the noumenal and the phenomenal. The phenomenal is the physical life. It is the physical world. It is those things that we observe through perception. And that world is an illusion for Kant. I'm not saying it is. For Kant, it's an illusion. Use that rhetorically to your advantage. Kant says that we take things and we straighten them out. We square them. We make them digestible to our own way of seeing. That's the phenomenal. The noumenal is where the real stuff happens. That's why the noumenal circle is really big and the phenomenal circle is this little tiny thing that we exist in with our range of understanding, the wavelength of light and sound and everything else that limits how we perceive. We can even look at a smarter thinker named Thomas Reid, who you've never heard of, but he is the religious philosopher that wasn't, by the way, doing religion, who gives you this ammunition. The geometry of the visibles is Kant's idea done better, right? So geometry of the visibles states that when we perceive things, they actually appear as curved because our visual context is spherical, which means everything we see is built around that sphere, so it has a curve to it. Our mind straightens that out, which means our perception, even though, according to Reid, it's direct and veridical, which means the object's really there, still requires all of this clearing up. That is a negative process, which means you take down science's confidence in all of these things like your consciousness is purely atoms. Consciousness is in mental life. Atoms are in physical life. So the minute they jump from one to the other, you just point it out. Okay, you're talking about the physical life. So in conclusion, what am I really saying? I'm saying use their arguments against them. Stop making up magic stuff and just say, look at your conclusions that don't make sense. It's really simple. All you have to do is point out places where science leaves the physical world and goes into the mental world and starts saying crazy stuff. And then what that does is it makes room for all the crap you want to make up. And then you can make it up later. But right now you're making space for that by showing them how dumb they are. So I hope that makes sense. So I'm basically done here. All I'm really saying is you're going to use their ideas against them. You've got to just say, here's the unknown. Your expedition into the unknown failed, so I'm going to go there. And my advice to you is to put real things there. Instead of making crap up, put in real things that start to explain things like the cosmological argument. Because it's not that hard. Science has no idea what it's talking about. So you have to start using their limits against them. And from there, you can start to make sense. That's all I'm saying. So I hope that rounds it out for you. I hope that gives you some ammunition. Thanks for watching.